Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of My Hero Academia. This week we'll be reviewing anime episode 56, which is entitled Rush, and we'll also review episode 3 of the anime, continuing on from the last break in the manga where we did episodes 1 and 2. Hopefully episode 3 will be out at the same time as this one, but if not, it will still be out during the week. My name is Sophie.
And my name's Kendra.
So for the news, we've only got some small bits. So for merchandising, they are releasing a My Hero Academia stamp collection, as well as some acrylic 2D stand-ups of the characters.
And I know Uniqlo Canada had some My Hero Academia shirts, but they immediately sold out in less than a day, so you can't get them, but they exist, and you can just... There was a Bakugo one, and there was one of, like, the students. And I couldn't get any of them, so...
Hopefully, because they sold out so quickly, they'll realise that they're popular and bring out more.
No, I think it's, like, kind of a one-time thing, really. Because it's like the celebration of the Jump's 50th, and they just do, like... I think what they might do is I think they're, like, doing releases of, like, different types, because they showed, like, in their ad, they had some one-piece shirts, and then when you went on the site, those shirts weren't there. So I'm hoping there's going to be, like, another batch released, and then I can get some My Hero Academia stuff. All of my shirts are going to be anime shirts.
Fingers crossed they release them everywhere else as well.
Yes, that would be cool.
We'll see. Oh, you can wear your My Hero Academia socks and shirts.
Yes, I'm wearing Sue socks right now.
Oh, where did you get those from?
A Hot Topic.
Cool. So, should we start the episode?
Yep.
Okay, so this is the anime episode for episode 56 entitled Rush, all capital letters, exclamation mark.
Very dramatic.
It covers chapter 107 to 108. The episode starts with a recap of the test and how it works. So everyone wears 3 targets and has 6 balls that they need to hit the opposition's targets with. Once they have got 2 people out by clearing their 3rd target, they pass, and only the first 100 will pass. What I hadn't realised that if you clear just the last targets on someone, that counts as your win.
Yeah.
So you could just get 2 people out on their last targets, not contribute to the rest, and pass.
Yep. Because
you realised that?
Yep, I realised that because I think Deku said something along that lines that like you gotta kind of like strategize, or I think I kind of realised it, but I think this might be I don't know.
I think this again proves that you're a smarter cookie than me.
No. I've forgotten most of this arc. So like me watching it, it's like, oh yeah, this is what happened. I like forgot about this. Like the last half of this episode, I was like, I have like a vague memory of this in the manga.
We start off by seeing the Ketsubatsu students all huddled together, and we learn that there's only 38 more slots left for people to pass. And Yo Shindo summarises to every... Oh, I just love that name.
Yes.
He summarises to everyone that when they first fought UA and separated them, it also led to them getting split into 2 groups.
He does his own recap. Like, we just had one, he does another one. Yeah.
But because they've all been split, other students are taking advantage of it. And instead of thinking of this as a negative, he thinks it's a good thing. And he uses the analogy that if you had 8 hours to chop down a tree, you should spend the first 6 sharpening an axe, which that's already a thing, isn't it? People already say that.
Do they?
I'm sure I've heard that before.
I don't think I've ever heard it before. But it was also just like, he didn't really do that either. He just kind of like, to take that metaphor and apply it to what he did, it's more like he hacked really fast at it and then stopped.
If you have 8 hours to take out some targets, you should sit there for the first 6.
Yes. Yeah, there's no time limit on this either.
No, I don't think there is.
So you could have like hunkered down and been like, I'm going to stay here for a week. But then like they don't... I wonder if it could end... I guess it could end and you could still have like none of your targets hit, but you haven't hit anybody, so you wouldn't pass.
No, you'd still be out, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd still be out.
He thinks that while everyone is using up their stamina and focusing on taking out UA, they should hide and wait for the opposition to have both a narrow field of vision and also be very tired out, and then they should attack. Which, while I think that's that's not enough of a plan for it to be villainous. It is sneaky, and it's not very heroic because it's not
Yeah.
forthright, and there's no virtue in it.
He does very evil eyes.
Yeah, his face changes to some creepy face, and then Tatami notices that he's lost his polite face and calls him sneaky. But no, she thinks that instead of being sneaky, he's actually tactful, which is true. Even though the plan's got some moral flaws, it is clever. We then see two unknown participants struggling along, looking very tired and maybe injured because they're both holding on to each other to walk. And just as they're at their weakest, that's when the Ketsubetsu students decide to jump up and take them out at their most vulnerable. So then at 4 minutes 5 seconds we get the title card. After this we go to seeing I didn't know how to describe his face, so I called him excitedly ferocious. An excitedly ferocious looking Bakugo and the juxtaposition of a terrified Kaminari.
Yes.
Oh, how to pronounce his name? Seiji Shishikara is telling them that he loves UA and he's proud that his school is an equal to it, which if people don't remember, a few episodes ago when we met the Shiketsu students, we found out that Shiketsu is the rival school of UA, and it's like the major hero school on the other side of Japan. He goes on to say that you lot, which I'm guessing is class 1A, act in a way that diminishes the respect of UA, and then his meatball fingers start to appear from behind his back. Kaminari calls it gross, which I think everyone agrees with. It is disgusting.
Yes.
The whole way through. I think I use the word creepy a lot, but it's really creepy. Bakugo wants him to just shut up and use his actions instead of his words. And he finishes off by calling him sir or senpai in Japanese to mock him, which I thought was quite funny. I wonder if Bakugo has a sense of humour, like he's in an actual sense of humour, not just laughing at someone's struggles.
Well, I think it's also he's being like... Bakugo's usually very rude when he talks, and I guess he's like using his politeness here as like also a weapon. And Kaminari also does the same thing later. He's copying Bakugo a bit.
Yeah, he does. So then Seiji just flings his creepy attacks at him, saying that Bakugo is especially the one causing harm to UA's reputation, which is mean, because it's not like Bakugo asked to get captured, but I guess he did do that horrible mask thing at the end of the sports festival, so whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Bakugo easily counters his attacks with his AP shot, and he says that he's made the attack weaker to use on people. I wonder if he was asked to do that by ectoplasm. Because I think if you're fighting someone, this is too much.
Because it could like punch through the rock, so it's like that could punch through a person who's like not wearing armor. So he's like, okay, I probably have to tone it down a bit so I don't actually murder anybody.
Yeah. Denki is then really taken aback by that and tells him that everyone hates him for the same reason. And I like that despite how volatile Bakugo is, Denki just criticises him anyway, like all the time.
He's not afraid of him. He's just like, he calls him out on his stuff. Like, everyone hates him because he's so good. Like, he's so amazingly powerful, but he's also an ass about it sometimes. All the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yes.
For the first time, we see the creepy finger attacks. The creepy finger attacks came out of his arms, because before he had his arms behind his back, so we didn't really know where they were coming from. And it looks super creepy. And they're going back to join his arms. And so Seiji has quite a few spiels, and this is his second one, which is basically about people who react quickly to insults, i.e. Bakugo, are doing that because they have too much pride. And he wants to break Bakugo down so that he behaves better and UA won't be tarnished by his actions anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He then starts to attack, and Bakugo runs towards him, saying he talks too much and that he'll kill him.
The third kill count. Bakugo kill count, number 3.
Is that of this episode? Oh no, it's not, is it? It's of our Bakugo jar.
Yeah, Bakugo jar. Because there were 2 last episode. Now there's 1 this episode. That makes 3. The Bakugo kill jar.
Kaminari reminds him that it's an exam, but Bakugo tells him that because it's an exam, that's why he wants to kill him. Like, I wonder if he's just angry that Seiji's bringing this all up inside a test or not, but I don't know. He's angry. Bakugo is fighting off the attacks, but Denki says that he shoots his pointer off because the fight looks like it's not going anywhere. His projectile appears to miss, and Denki then appears to be disappointed. But it's distracted Seiji from Bakugo, who directs his threats at Denki instead. But Bakugo is not happy with sharing, and he sends one big blast at him. But it's countered really well by he makes like a creepy flesh shield.
Ew, yeah. It's like, wouldn't that still hurt him? It's his flesh.
Yeah, you'd think he'd be left with quite a lot of burns.
And like he even said, like when he meatballs people, they still feel the pain, so he should still feel that pain when he gets hit.
No, you're right. A creepy flesh thing then gets Bakugo from the back of his neck, turns into 2 fingers, and kneads him into a little meatball. But before he's completely changed, Bakugo throws something at Kaminari, though we don't see what it is yet. But while he's throwing it, of course he calls Kaminari an idiot. Because it's Bakugo. All insults all day.
He's the world's angriest, spiciest meatball.
It was really clever to send that attack under the bridge and then over and around the back to hit Bakugo, wasn't it? Like we know Bakugo's really clever because he's got the top 3 grades in the class. But I'm guessing that when he's angry, his field of vision is just limited to the object of his anger.
Yeah.
And that, coupled with Seiji's extra year of hero training, just caught him out.
Yeah. And I guess he probably also, he was so angry he didn't think, how far of a range he has for how far he can do his, meatballs thingies.
Yeah. We get a quick explanation of how Seiji's quirk works. Find out it's called meatball, and he can change flesh by massaging it. He can only make other people's flesh round, but he can separate, manipulate, and attach his own flesh all together.
And I wonder, sorry. How useful would that be in, rescue operations? I guess maybe he could, meat potato people and, throw them out of the bad situation, so it's, easier to get people out. So, if you're pinned underneath rubble, he'll turn you into a meatball, and then you, aren't pinned anymore. He can roll you out and then, pop. He can release it.
Yeah.
So maybe it would be kind of useful.
I wonder if he can send his own flesh off as well to pick other people up and bring them back. But anyway, during this time the camera sort of spans up his body, and I hadn't realised that his costume has an apron on the front, which I thought it added to the eeriness of his character, and it made me think of an evil scientist, but I don't know if that's just me.
An evil butcher.
Yes, butcher is exactly the word. Because I kept thinking of a barber that cuts people up, and I was like, no, that's too much of a weird, obscure reference. Where am I getting that from? But I was confusing them with butchers.
Well, I think hairdresser is also Sweeney Todd. Did Sweeney Todd sell himself as a hair cutter person?
He did, but also, so in World War One and wars before that, they used to use barbers as surgeons, and their idea for that was that barbers had so much time with scissors and cutting things, so a lot of medics on the ground were actually barbers. And then barbers got a creepy reputation, which is I think where Sweeney Todd was derived from, unless there was actually a barber serial killer. But
I'm gonna Google Sweeney Todd, true story. It's disputed whether or not he existed.
Okay, so Seiji then starts spiel number 3, which summarises basically that he thinks they want stronger heroes now that All Might is retired, and he wants to help, so he is weeding out everyone that he thinks isn't good enough and ignoring the test. Denki is shocked that he's ignoring it to do so and calls him strange, but Seiji instead thinks that it's strange for ordinary people to grow quickly in the world, which I didn't really understand. Does he think that Kaminari and his group are too ordinary?
Yeah, I think he thinks they're too stupid and ordinary to be heroes, that they're not good enough. Because they're just, I think he's kind of critiquing their quirks and the way they use them. He's calling them all around idiots.
Yeah, to be fair, his one does seem pretty overpowered, but also, what a judgmental bastard.
Yeah, he's just basing off of the one time he saw them in the sports festival, and that's all he has to judge them on.
But he then treads on Kirishima's meatball and tells Denki that he can't use his electricity because the meatballs still feel pain. Denki tells him that his insults hurt and he wishes he'd stop. But
I know, Kaminari is such a sweetheart. Like, he's just like, don't insult me, please.
It hurts.
And also, just stepping on Kirishima is mean. Like, don't step on him. He's a good boy.
So do you think he kind of commends Denki because he says that he has at least some self-awareness, and he hopes that after this he'll start to reflect on his actions more. But Denki says he's not talking about the insults hurting him, which is such a great retort. I love this whole scene. Yeah, and then before some creepy flesh can catch Denki, a huge explosion goes off behind Seiji, which it turns out that Denki explains that Bakugo could put his nitroglycerin sweat into equipment, and that grenade is what he threw at Denki, which we knew anyway from previous episodes, but I guess it's good to have a refresher.
Or no, I think we've seen him share his gauntlet with Deku, but we've never seen him actually use the little, like, grenade belt he has.
You're right, I was thinking of the gauntlet. I liked knowing that Denki only knows about the grenades and how they work because Bakugo only told him because he was angry that Denki mistook it for being a fashion choice.
I forgot about them. Like, I was like, I wonder if that should, like, having the confidence to ask Bakugo, hey, is that a fashion statement about his belts? It's like, yes, he is very brave.
Yeah, Denki then puts on his sunglasses and with a cool, by the way, senpai, you stumbled into a great spot. He connects his electricity with the projectiles in the wall and it goes straight through him. We get a flashback to May and Power Loader giving him the pointer and shooter that they both made together and explaining it. So they say that if something's within 10 meters, he can get it in a straight line. But he can also hit multiple targets with the right setting. May, like, he asks May if he has to think more, and May just gives him like a thumbs up, which made me laugh. But in terms of like perspective, 10 meters is only sort of the size of a bus. So the attack's only good for like mid-range attacks. Like, he's not going to be able to go long distance with this. So it's still like he's still quite limited.
I think it's because he's just like training it right now. So maybe like in the future he might be able to do like, he might even be able to do it without the targets if he like trains hard enough.
Yeah, hopefully. Otherwise he's really going to be quite limited.
And I think he was disappointed when he fired it because he realized that he like fired them all in one spot instead of like spreading them out. Does he have 2 discs or 3 discs?
So he fires off 2, but he probably has more in there. But I guess he hasn't got multiple targets at the moment. So Denki then realizes that Bakugo didn't use his big explosions because he didn't want to hit Seiji. It was actually because he didn't want to hurt Kirishima on the ground. And he compares Bakugo to a sewer, but says that even though he is offensive, he is actually working really hard to be a hero, and he commends his cool judgment at throwing him the grenade in the last moment. Denki then goes on to defend Kirishima by saying that he's someone so kind he would go into enemy territory to help out a friend, even if it's a dangerous thing to do. And as he's complimenting both of them, their meatball bodies start to grow. Kaminari doesn't want them to be insulted by someone who doesn't actually know them, and just as Seiji goes to attack him again, Kirishima jumps up and punches him in the stomach, followed by a big explosion in the stomach by Bakugo. As like a side note, in the manga, Bakugo and Kirishima jump up and punch him in the stomach at the same time.
Ah, that would have been better. But I guess like it's nice that Kirishima really gets to shine and then Bakugo like blasts him. But like at the same time, it's also just kind of like they really are a team.
Yeah, I think I preferred the punching in the stomach at the same time, but like either way, it's a very small nitty-bitty thing for me to pick up on.
Yeah.
Bakugo explains that Seiji can't actually control the meatballs when he's in pain, and that's why he's not been using short-range attacks. Kirishima says thank you, but Bakugo just says, why did it take so long, Tun's face? He's so mean all the time. Like, it's obviously mean, and Kaminari picks him up on it and says that it's no wonder people keep dissing him. But then he gets distracted and he notices that the people behind them, who will also turn into meatballs, are starting to turn back now, and he pulls a scared face. But Bakugo and Kirishima aren't bothered. And in fact, Bakugo he does some sort of eerie tongue lick that we've not seen him do before.
He licks his lips, and that's like usually something you see with like villains or something, and he's like, bloodthirsty.
Oh, a sound effect. Like, I was thinking about this fight. Seiji wouldn't pass the UA entrance exam, would he?
Yeah, because
He can't use his quirk on robots.
Yeah. I guess they must have a different kind of exam for his school. But maybe, he wouldn't. Unless, no, he could, like, if he sent out... Because I think there are switches on the robots. Like, that's how Toru passed. So if he sent out his meatballs, then he could, like, turn the switch. Or he could also save people by, like, whisking them out of the way with his meat fingers.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
But he would have trouble taking down the rope. Yeah, I don't know.
I thought that maybe when he was going on about how much he admires UA, he was doing that because he was kind of resentful that he couldn't get in. But now you've mentioned those ways he could pass, I am second thinking that.
But I don't know, maybe, yeah, like, I think people could look down at UA just because, like, they have a dumb exam. Like, they have an exam that doesn't, like, capture everything. Like, I always forget the mind. Shinzo, I was close. Shinzo, like, is in general education, so maybe, like, other places are, like, your test is very much, like, meat-headed, like, more brawn focused.
Yeah.
So it's, like, the jock school is why people look down on them sometimes, like the other rival.
So then we go back to the ante-room, and we find out there's only 30 spaces left for people to pass into. And we see Shoto on his own, but then he's joined by Jiro, Sue, Shoji, and Momo. They're all glad to see each other, but they worry about everyone else who's been separated and hasn't passed yet. And while they're chatting, Inasa is just watching them catch up, eerily in the background. We then go back to the fight with Sero and Co. And we see that Sero is being chased, and he shouts at Izuku to jump and hold him, which Izuku does. And then Yuraka releases the gravity that's holding up 10 boulders in the air, which have got Sero's tape attached to them. And as the boulders fall, the tape catches the people underneath and holds them in place. And then Sero goes in and tapes down the ones that haven't been caught. But as a side note, in the manga, in the chapter, Izuku doesn't jump up and hold Sero. And I don't really see why they added that in. Unless it's just because it's something... I think it's just because it was something for Izuku to do. Because, I mean, they didn't need to. Because Sero's agile enough to evade on his own.
That's what I thought, too. I was like, there was no point to that. I think it's just so Deku's like, oh, I'm being useful.
Yeah, they're just shoehorning him in.
Sero's lazy. He doesn't want to run.
Hold me! Izuku's surprised by how bold they were to try and take out everyone. But then Yuraka goes on to explain that she worked out the timings so that no one was hit with the debris, which is a great thought rather than just rushing in. The three then go in and tap everyone out. So instead of like in this episode, there's like no throwing the balls. It's all just tapping on the targets. And then as Izuku goes up to one guy on the floor, he kind of begs him to let them go, saying it's their last chance to get the license. But Izuku tags them out anyway, and I'm glad he does. And he doesn't like showing any remorse to him, because if this guy can't pass the test after, like, I'm guessing 3 years of being in school, then he would be a shoddy hero.
Yeah.
So it's better now that he fails rather than become a hero and just become useless and impoverished.
Yeah, but he's like, I need to too. He's like, I need to pass as well. And also because, like, he has the pressure of, like, he needs to replace All Might as far as he's concerned. So he has a time limit.
So that's the end of part 1, and we find out that Ida likes beef stew and Aoyama likes, drumroll, himself.
Yeah. And we learn 79 have passed. It's moving at a very good pace. And the response is super fast. That's Deku commenting that, like, the announcement happens, like, almost instantaneously when they manage to pass. And at first I, like, didn't know where the voice was coming from that was saying they should go to the anteroom, but it's the voice in the targets. And Deku wonders how everyone else is doing. And we get a bit of the tired guy running it again. This time he's speaking off the mic, saying, like, their boys and girls' youthfulness is gushing out. And that the battle royale is normal, but there's an unusual pattern that none of UA has been eliminated yet. And we get to see some of Kirishima, like the boys. I just started calling them the boys, Kirishima, Bakugo, and Kaminari fighting. And Kirishima angrily throwing a ball is really funny to me. And we kind of...
Did you screenshot it?
Yes. Oh, shot. Very good shot put. And we get to see, like, how everyone else is grouped up. Ojiro, Mina, Mineta, and Hagagura are all on the same team. Sato, Tokoyama, and Koda are also all together. And Ida is by himself, just running along. And Aoyama is hiding, just like he was during the training when the villains attacked. And he kind of creeped.
The picture of him hiding while wearing that shiny, shiny cape and the shiny, shiny armour is so funny.
Yes.
You can't hide in that.
It's not very good. He's like, who's too flashy? And he asks if Ida is alone, and it's kind of creepy. And Ida says everyone's gathered together, so he's running around trying to find everyone. And Aoyama laughs. It's kind of cute. He calls him weird and asks, so how do you know anyone's still left? What if they all pass and leave you behind? And Ida replies easily, but I found you, didn't I? And Aoyama's shocked, and they just like, I think that's the moment, like, Ida just became Aoyama's hero in that moment.
He became my hero in that moment too.
Same, like, I love Ida. So Ida, like, watching this, I was like, there's literally no way on earth that Ida is the traitor. Because he loves his class too much.
Yeah, like, he's the butt of jokes a lot of the time. But at moments like this, he shines so much.
He's just he's
such a great class rep.
Mm-hmm. He's like, if everyone else passed, that's good. And he holds out his hand, like, I'm Class A's representative in position to lead the class. As long as I have time and energy to serve, I will serve the class. That's what my brother would do. Saying, my actions are also the shape of my dreams. Aoyama is impressed, and he kind of repeats it back to him, like a very, like, flat face, like he's thinking it over. But he quickly goes, like, I want to pass the exam as well. And he says, like, we'll complete the search as we pass. Please work with me. And he's kneeling, arm outstretched. And both of them are very, like, knight-like themed armor. So just, like, a very nice shot.
He is a knight, isn't he? He's got all the characteristics.
Like, knight in shining armor.
Yeah, of a fairy tale art knight, not a real-life knight, because they sounded like pricks.
Yeah. So he kind of have, like, 3 knightish people, because Momo has had some, like, knight imagery, maybe, just in, like, the ending song.
Yeah.
Ida and Aoyama. The boys, I'm just going to call them the boys now. That's what the Kaminari and the Ko are. They see Zero and everyone else, and they do a dumb yeah dance, which is a reference to Yatta dance. It's actually like a music video thing from Japan, which is actually like a critique on something that the Japanese president said, like, oh, you might be doing like badly right now, like in economy-wise, but everything's fine. And so they just do like, they're wearing fig leaves on their nether regions, and they just do this like leap around dance, being like, yeah, everything is fine, and it's very goofy, but also cynical. But it's also, I think it's like, at least we're alive, so I think that's kind of what they're doing, like, yeah, we're alive, we made it.
I didn't think of it as cynical. I thought it was just like their attempt to do their best to cheer everyone up, because they're like, oh, today might be bad, but there's always the hope of tomorrow, or something along those lines. We should share that link on Twitter if people aren't sure.
Yeah. Bakugo kind of quietly goes, so you passed, huh, bastard? And Deku just, yeah, he's very nervous, like clenching his hands a bit, and thinks, ever since Kamino, he's come at me even less than before. And Bakugo, he's not screaming, he's like quietly angry. With the power you've got, it's only natural. And he walks past Deku, and Deku is shocked. He's just like, Kacha-chan, to me, I guess it's like he complimented me, kind of. And Bakugo says, you've made what you borrowed your own, right?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yep, because Deku promised way back, I think probably after when they went against each other in the villain hero thing, near the start, like the...
Oh, yeah, right at the start.
And Deku promised, or was it after the practice exam, like the robot exam, or was it after they went against each other?
I think it's after when they went after each other, because Bakugo had a real hissy fit and ran off, didn't he? And then Izuku went running after him, just to chase him. Like, no, Bakugo, don't go.
Deku promised to beat Bakugo with his own power once he made it his own. And it's a reminder, like, Bakugo is dangerously smart, so he's figured it out, at least, like, partially. Like, he knows Deku has a borrowed power. He knows All Might, like, focuses on him, and that All Might can't fight anymore. And it's probably, like, connecting the dots that something happened with quirks. But he's probably, like, he doesn't probably quite have it, because some of it's just, like...
Yeah, I think it started to click in at the end of All Might's fight, because, you know, Bakugo's watching him when All Might does that point at the camera, and Izuku says to everyone else it looked like he was pointing to the crowd, but he thought he was pointing to him to say it's your turn. And we see Bakugo, who's not cheering with everyone else, he's just watching Izuku cry, and I think he put it together then.
And Deku just says, "Ka-chan, Momo." I find it so. I find it so weird that he still calls him Ka-chan. It's like he's not. I'm gonna say it again. He's not your childhood friend. He's your childhood bully. But Bakugo's gotten a lot better. All that jazz. I just think he should apologize. But at least like he's recognizing Deku's strength here.
That's some character progression, even if it's only tiddly biddly.
Yeah, Bakugo couldn't have done that at the start of the series, and now he can, so I think that's a lot of growth. And Momo is glad they passed. They're all eating rice balls and, like, having snacks. Kaminari's like, yeah, we passed. And Jiro says, oh, I'm surprised Bakugo didn't finish faster. But I guess, like, he was with you, Kaminari, so that makes sense. And that's such a diss.
I love their interactions. Just all their interactions are so funny.
So good. And Kaminari points at her and says, you should fix that part of you. And Bakugo literally just wanders over there to look angry. He doesn't say anything. I think he's just like, oh, so let's go with Kaminari. I'm going to come over. Or I think maybe he heard his name. He heard Jiro say his name and he's like, are you talking about me? Like, what's going on? And it's like, oh no, they're not talking about me. I guess I'll just stay here.
He's probably glad to hear Denki criticise other people as well, but I guess maybe he was just going for the food that they're all standing next to and he didn't really care about the people.
That too. For a second though, when I saw Momo with the rice ball, I thought she'd made it herself. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense, because like, she'd just be eating herself.
Oh.
And Sue tells like Ochako where to get her stuff unlocked. And also, I love that there's, like, a ball bag. So it's like, please return all the balls. What if you lost your balls? Is someone going out, like, catching all the loose balls?
It's the ball boy from last episode.
Yeah. Some poor, like, people have to go out and, like, hunt down all the ball boys. And there's also... Todoroki comes over and kind of just stands to everybody. And there's a ghost in the background.
I missed him.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts. And he's just talking to somebody who is not terrified. There's like, oh, you're right, Ghost. 11 spots left, and there's 9 of Class 1A left.
They go on to say that they're worried because there's not many people. There's not very many spaces left, and they've got like 9 people in the group left, so they're worried about Izuku. Right, so Izuku says that he's worried about everyone else passing, but in the manga, Momo says to him that she's wondering about Ida because he's not back.
Aww.
But they got rid of that, and I really liked it because I kind of ship Ida and Momo.
Yes.
But no, they cut it out, and it's just Izuku wondering about everyone else.
Oh, give us shipping. And Aoyama blasts himself into the air, and someone attacks him midair. And I love this. Ida pulls him out of the way with his cape. So maybe capes aren't that bad after all.
No, but I mean, even as Aoyama's flying to him, he's pulling a pose like he's sunbathing. But I guess maybe he'd just given up, so he was like, this is my last one, take me out. But yeah. I mean, if he hits the floor in that position, he's going to hurt himself.
It would hurt. And Aoyama says, the two of us are in the middle of this war. It's going to be hard to survive. And Ida says, what are you talking about? Anyone can give up. Let's do our best. I love the anyone can give up line. It's really good. And they are very much surrounded. And Aoyama says, no, that isn't it. And I love Ida just like is carrying Aoyama by his cape. And this is like, oh, I didn't insert it in here, but it has like the most meme potential. Because like Ida is the hype train and like Aoyama is us. Aoyama says, we'll get hit by stray shots. And because everyone's going to start throwing it at each other, we cut to the other people. Everyone is stuck, trapped by bombs and balls. So like everyone's not really moving. 8 people passed at once. Only 10 spots left. And I wrote shit. Jokes says those 8 that passed were all in my class. And she is like, good job. She's congratulating them. Eraser has no reaction. Jiro is starting to get a bit pessimistic, saying it might be impossible for all of us to pass at this point. Ida is now running, but he's not holding a cape anymore. He's holding Aoyama's wrist. And we get something I completely forgot about. We get a flashback of baby Aoyama asking for his parents.
that's because in the manga we get a flashback of Aoyama when he's younger and he's got the belt and he's wearing his little leggings, but we don't have the flashback of him with the top on. And I was thinking the way that he's dressed there, even as a child, is eccentric. So I wonder what his parents are like for them to dress their child in all those ruffles and the little like jegginy, not jeggings, the little like legginy bottoms.
Yeah, he must be like very rich or something. Or is he like I think he's probably like half English, half Japanese or something. Or half French, I guess, probably half French.
Yeah, because he switches between French and Spanish, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, Papa, Maman. Is Maman Spanish?
No, but in some of the manga bits, I think he speaks Spanish every now and then. Just random words like señorita, not long sentences.
And he asks, "Why am I different from everyone else?" And that's the weird thing is that he looks like he's the age when you start to manifest your quirk. So like, did he get his quirk late, or is he just sad because like his quirk is with like a weird laser thing that hurts him? Like what? Like that's just a big part of me. We're like, what does that mean?
We find out in the manga later on, don't we?
Yeah. And Aoyama, or kind of, Aoyama loosens his hands, so he's kind of like, let it go. There's no music. We get a close-up on his mouth, and he laughs. And then he does like a backwards bridge and shoots laser into the air as a beacon. And Ida asks, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Standing out." If you protect me, we'll both be taken out. So I'm standing out. I got 2 of my targets taken out. Only 1 more to go. I'll do it for you. Oh. Oh.
Also, that back bend is quite I think it's called the crab. It's like a yoga position. I want to see Aoyama teaching everyone yoga.
Yes, I remember being so confused. I'm like, what on earth is he doing? That would hurt too. And also, like, his stomach laser, like, doing that for a long time would hurt. Like, he's doing a concentrated one.
Yeah, I timed it, and he starts the laser at 16 minutes 50, and the last time we see him holding it is 18 minutes 30. And at the start of the series, he couldn't really hold it for more than a second, but here they've got him holding it for nearly 2 minutes straight.
Woo! He got good. All that training paid off.
But they do add in, when he's shooting out the laser, they do add in every now and then some like stomach grumbling noises.
And he says, "Get behind those who are coming for me as I stand out. With your speed, you can do it, right?" It may seem sudden. And then we get to see like a slightly older him getting his belt. Like he's no longer 4. So it took a while before they actually gave him his belt. Do you think like he had his belt before UA probably?
Yeah, because he looks younger there, but I think it probably took a while to get because it's probably quite expensive because it would have to be like tailor made to his needs, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And the design looks like it's like he had input into the design because it's very flashy. It's like most people, like if that were me and I had the issues he had, I'd just want something like small and black so it didn't stick out very much, but he wants the whole shebang. Yeah,
but I guess it's kind of like, and that insecurity kind of wants to oppose it with flashiness, like you're talking about with Momo, how you're saying how your hero outfit might be kind of making up for like insecurity. I think it's definitely the same for Aoyama here.
Yeah, no, I think you're really right.
And he wonders to himself, like, again, like, the shape of my dreams, and he says, "I just wanted to be an equal.
Oh.
They'll be here soon, get ready." And then, the other people start to attack, and pigeons start flying out, and I forgot about Coda, and I thought that Aoyama just went, like, full magician, and just, like, had pigeons fly out for some reason.
Oh, I love that all the birds that he could use as well. He uses pigeons. Attack pigeons!
Yes, it's Coda, he's there, and he's like, and we get to hear him talk a bit, like, his voice is so cute, like, I think this is the second time we've heard him talk.
Oh yeah, we don't hear much at all.
Ever.
He needs such time to shine.
No.
But we have seen his mum, and that was adorable.
Yes, and Tokoyami does Black Ank, he's catching people, and we see Mineta trapping people with balls on their shoes, and Ojiro kicks around us some flippy cool stuff. I guess he's trying to move, like, not in a tailman way, and knocks those who are not caught by balls into balls. And Mineta is throwing his head ball so much that he's bleeding. He's going beyond.
Oh, that's gruesome.
Exactly. He's like, ooh. And saying, like, get the ones you can first. And Hagagura does warp refraction, say cheese. And this is the part when it's, like, the first time we've seen that her quirk is anything else besides invisibility. what? And warp refraction, okay, this is a term that they probably made without realizing that there's also a term for it in music. It was coined by guitarist John Finn. Warp refraction take into account the major third tuning interval between the second and third strings. It's a bunch of music mumbo jumbo that I don't really get.
It's something that Jiro would know.
Yes, so I think but I don't think it's I don't think she's actually referencing that. It's probably just more like warp. You're like warping the light, and refraction is like light shining through. And it just so happens that someone's used that word combination before.
So I wonder if her invisibility is more like it works, like her cells reflect the light. You know, like in James Bond, he's got that car, and they say that it's invisible because its painting or something just reflects the light, so it shows what's around you. Oh, I don't know if wouldn't that just reflect what's in front of her though, so you wouldn't be able to see through.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you could see through. Because I know scientists have created a really cumbersome thing where it's just a camera that shows what's right in front of it. So then it's kind of invisible. So I don't know. And the funny thing is that I've seen read some stuff where it's anything that was truly invisible would be blind because light wouldn't hit its eyes. They would pass through it or something.
I wonder if so you know that we know so the wolf that we see in this episode where in the future where Mina jumps over him and sticks the ball on so he's out. So people do have quirks where they can turn into animals. We know that there's more colours on the spectrum that we can't see. So I wonder if there'll be a hero that can turn into like a moth or an animal that has better sight than we do, and it can pick up on the light that she's reflecting and see her.
Mothman is Hakagura's mortal foe. Have you heard of Mothman?
I have not. Who is Mothman?
Mothman is a kind of urban legend, eldritch abomination horror story thing about a giant Mothman that causes disasters. And it's just spooky. And I heard about it the first time driving at night in a car, and my brother's trying to scare me, and I just kept imagining seeing Mothman out of the corner of my eye on a dark road.
Why would someone choose a moth as the animagus of a horror character?
I don't know. I think it's just the idea of the big wings is scary.
Vultures are scary and they're ugly. Moths they're pests. They eat your clothes. Are moths scary? Are they killer moths?
I don't know. He's just he doesn't I think he's always a moth. I don't know if he actually talks. He just it's the Mothman prophecies. And he just appears and is scary. It's just big. It has big wings, and and a bridge collapsed, and he might have predicted it. There's a movie about it, and I don't know enough about it, but Mothman is scary. But also, it's just a giant. If you hold the light, he'll just fly towards it.
Maybe Mothman will appear and be the arch nemesis, as you said.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. And it is kind of weird that it seems I guess it's the same logic that Tokoyami has a bird head and he has dark shadow, so it's kind of two quirks. But then she's invisible and she can do light refraction, or is light refraction because of invisibility, that she's just adjusting her invisibility to do that? It's weird.
Yeah, I kind of took it as that she holds, if she held the mirror and she put her arm in front of it, as the light went through her, it projected out into a larger spectrum. Because if she just held the mirror up, it would go into a pinpoint brightness, I believe, or it wouldn't be that large. And also anyone could do that. It wouldn't have such a bedazzling effect. Because it takes out a lot of people. Even in the less dramatised manga, it takes out quite a few people. So I'm guessing that she puts it through her body?
Probably, yeah.
I'd a guess. We don't really know.
Yeah, I think the wiki is she uses her body to can do something to the light, and I'm okay. I know the author said I want to do an explanation of her quirk, but he still hasn't. So I want the truth.
I asked Caleb Cook, the English translator, on Twitter once if you know the spin-off where the girls are trying to find out from Hagakure about her family and what she looks like, if Horikoshi had any say-so in that, whether he approved the storyline or if it's canon, and he said he wasn't sure. So it might all be non-canon, and we don't know. We're just left still knowing nothing.
And just to make sure we don't forget, you can follow the official translator for My Hero Academia on Twitter at CD Cubed. And he does like awesome he does awesome analysis of each chapter, and also he does a bit of volume trivia as well, which is kind of cool. With a flash of light, she blinds everyone, and she's the first to pass. She gets a bunch of people out. Next is Ojiro, and I love Aoyama just wondering why like they're helping him, or like why they're here as like feathers fall around him, and it feels like it's very like dramatic, very fitting for him. And Mina kind of explains, everyone was spread out panicking, couldn't see anyone around us, but we were able to see your belly button laser and meet up again. And she gives this awesome thumbs up, and it's just like, she's a mood setter that she's like, I think she could be an awesome team lead in a hero group, or like the second in command or whatever. She's just like, she has great energy.
She would be so great for morale, wouldn't she?
And Sato is carrying around a rock with Mineta's balls, and someone is on it. I had to watch that like twice, because I thought at first he was carrying around Mineta, and I was like, why? And they say, now let's do this, and Aoyama is shocked. And Mina passes, she hits the wolf guy on the head in a cool move. I wonder if he's like a werewolf, or if he's always a wolf.
I don't know, I think maybe he just transforms into a wolf, but I thought they would give him more of a grisly voice. Mm-hmm. But it's just a normal man's voice inside her.
He'll grow into it.
But she does do a really cool jump over him.
Yes. Tokoyami apologizes as he gets people out, and Mineta's crying as he gets his person out because he is in a lot of pain because he's bleeding. Good. And this is the tired guy talking. He says, like, UA gathers together and pulls off combo moves to pass, and Eraser Head has no reaction, but Miss Joke is impressed. And he thinks that there are many of you left. So he's still like, you're not all eliminated, but you're also still haven't passed yet. So like, you should have passed earlier. You would have been more impressed about that. At least he's trying to tell himself that. And Koda sounds so cute. We get to hear him talk again, and he's really glad he passed. Kami passes by hitting a robot of some kind, which is like a person robot.
I'm really glad they showed that.
Yeah. Because, like, I thought she was out, to be honest. I, like, forgot about that. There's only 2 spots left. Ida says to Aoyama, I don't know what you want to be equal to, as I don't know what you are measuring yourself up against, but this was thanks to you. And they both run holding balls, yelling, yeah! And they, like, do a cool, dramatic pose. And I just love, like, I don't know, like, love that line that, like, I don't know what you want to be equal to, because I don't know what you're measuring yourself up against, but, like, I think you're pretty cool, like, you did a good job today, like, there's some, like, imaginary thing you're trying to meet, but you don't have to.
No, it was really nice. And then, what does Aoyama say after that?
Well, that means my twinkle won't stop, huh? Because that's his hero name, can't stop twinkling. He should just be, like, Twinkle or something. But then he'll, oh no, wait, I'm thinking of Tingle from Legend of Zelda. He should be Twinkle. Or just call him, like, Little Star or something. Little Star would be a good theme, too, but it makes him sound like a child. And he just says, yeah, probably. I don't really know, though, because, like, what does that mean? Tired guy gets excited. 0, 100 pass, the end, 0, woohoo! And he does, like, a yell laugh that's, like, very funny. And the boys celebrate as Bakugo kind of sulks. He's like, I'm not happy about this at all. It's like, okay. Everyone passed the first test. Ochiko is very cute. Zero looks a little evil, and Sue is adorable. Like, it's a great. I screenshotted it because it's very cute. And Sue just ribbits. She's just like literally goes ribbit, like very happy.
Yeah, when everyone else is saying how happy they are, she just says ghetto. That's their frog eyes, ghetto.
I guess it's kind of like a cat purring. She ribbits. I need to listen to the dub. I don't think in the dub I made it as far as her. So I'll be excited to hear, like, how they managed to make her ribbits sound normal. I guess it could be like, ribbit. Like, we could pass it off. And then there's this announcement, everyone who's failed, please leave promptly. And Eraser's like, geez, you all made me nervous. Once we get back, you'll have to train more. So it's like, you did good, but get better. Joke does a spit take. You're happy, aren't you? Act it. And Eraser says, I'm mad. And she's like, your legs are bouncing happily. And he's just like, no, they are not. And I just love that, like, she can, like, kind of read him. Like, she can tell he's happy, even if he'll want to be, like, in denial about it.
I hope his legs were really bouncing.
I think they were, or he just, like, twitched a little bit, and she, like, knows him enough to be like, that's basically Eraserhead, like, bouncing for joy. And we get a after credit scene, which is kind of cool. Inessa is surprised that Meatball failed. There's a hairy guy who says, like, oh, well, all the high passionate guys went on ahead and fought alone, and Kami went as well. She should know better. And she just, like, very unenthusiastically says, yes, sir. And then the tired guy says, all who passed, please watch this. And the former area explodes. Everyone is shocked. And the next test is the last one. Rescue exercises as bystanders. So a rescue arc again. Yay! And I guess, like, it feels so short. Like, I guess I'm so used to, like, there's, like, rule of threes that there should be, like, 3 stages to the exams or something. 2 works. Because it covers, like, fighting, and then it covers rescue. And that's kind of, like, some of the cores of being a hero.
Yeah, and I guess they take other things as well. So you've got to, there's obviously teamwork, there's communication, there was some spying in the last one.
How did you like the episode overall? What ranking should we use this time? How many balls would you give the balls?
I think I would give it 5 bleedy Minetta balls.
I thought it was very fun. It was also just like, I forgot a lot of it, so I'll give it 5 actually no, I'll give it 3 balls, 3 of the competition balls, because that's how many you needed to get it to win.
Oh, I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, so the different balls.
I loved it.
It was very good, because, like, the Aoyama stuff I completely forgot about until, like, I was watching it, and I was like, oh, yeah, he did that. Like, he actually really did get a chance to twinkle.
This was the episode I was most looking forward to, because it covered my 2 favourite chapters of this the whole arc. Because I loved that Kaminari got to do some cool stuff and he got a win, because usually he's just a joke character. And Ida and Aoyama are always just joke characters, so I like that they got some cool time to shine, because we haven't actually seen that before.
And it was funny, like, you realize that Aoyama was, like, really just trying to, like, sacrifice himself so Ida could pass. But then, like, instead of being just, like, a or bait, he ended up being, like, a beacon, like, drawing his class to them, who would realize, like, wait, that's Aoyama, let's go and help him out. And it's like, I don't know, it's awesome. He could, I guess, like, if he wasn't going to be Twinkle, he could be Beacon. But I think Beacon might be a hero name.
It just shows the characters that we don't see very often in a good light. Like, it's always focused on Izuku and Bakugo, and Kirishima's there. So I like it when we get to see the lesser ones, even though Ida and Aoyama were the main ones. It was still nice to see them. So for me, maybe it's just downhill for the rest of the arc, but I doubt it. I actually think it will be better, because I've reread these chapters because I liked them so much, a lot. But I don't think I've reread the rescue exam for a long time.
I think I've probably only read all of this stuff, like, once, maybe twice. But after that, I was, like, rereading it, like, shortly after.
Okay, so that's the end of our anime review for episode 56. Once again, my name is Sophie, and you can find me on Twitter at Choppers Antlers.
Did you forget your own thing? My name is Kendra, and you can follow me on Twitter at Sniper of My Heart. You can follow us on Twitter at MHA Pod.
We're also on Reddit and Tumblr under the same name at MHA Pod.
And, Tumblr, we're at My Hero Academia Podcast. So it's longer because, like, you could fit more stuff. And Reddit, it's not a subreddit yet. I guess, like, we might make that if people are interested in it. But right now it's just, like, we have an account so you can, like, comment on stuff. Or, like, if you want to ask us questions, I guess you could, like, reply to stuff that we posted. I think we have at least, like, one we posted. Oh, yeah, you might want to check out, we tweeted it out, and then we also, I say we, it was also we made, she made an awesome, like, horoscope thing. So it's kind of like what characters interact with each other best. It's pretty cool. And she also made some character cards, which are kind of cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, you made a lot of stuff. I was about to leave, and I saw these, and I was like, oh, nice. Don't forget, everyone, eat your vegetables and go beyond.
Plus Ultra!
Ultra! Yay! Okay, so.